Hi, and welcome to Lesson 1 of Building a Basic Website. I'm Brian McDermott from the UMass Amherst Journalism Program, and today we're going to talk about aesthetic graphic design. Before we do, though, let's take a look at how to use this website that you're on right now.
Every Monday and Thursday, I'll post a new lesson to umass.edu/journalism/MOOC. You can complete these lessons at your own pace, going step by step through the videos and readings. When you're ready, the enrolled users can use this link at the bottom of the page to log back into Moodle and to complete the assignment for that lesson. Design is visual, of course, and so one definition of good design is work that's aesthetically pleasing and nice to look at. But design is also about functionality and making sure that the information is conveyed in the most intuitive and effective way possible. For web designers, you're building a site for a space about the size of a piece of notebook paper, and that's if you're lucky. According to Pew, 17% of adults get their internet primarily from their cell phones, a much smaller space. So how are we going to meet that challenge of designing for such small spaces? Well, let's start by learning the vocabulary designers use to talk about what they do. Composition is the term we use to talk about how visual elements are arranged within the page. I might say a composition is busy, meaning elements of the page are haphazardly arranged and it's hard to know where to focus. Or I might say a website has a clean composition, meaning the aesthetics are simplified and easy to process visually. Hierarchy is a graphic design term that concerns how the viewer interacts with the composition of a page, what they look at first, for example. The best design is intentional, and it communicates to the viewer where the focus should be and how a person interacts with each visual element. So I might say, the hierarchy of this page is strong because this big picture draws my attention, the logo type font's bigger than what's less important, and the navigation is at a point on the page where I'm likely to find it quickly. Sometimes the easiest way to understand hierarchy is to see a lack of it. Craigslist, for example, doesn't really have an appealing hierarchy. Where's your eye supposed to fall? Negative space is another important concept in graphic design. You don't need to over-design and fill in every spot with content. And what you'll often find is that it's harder to do a good, restrained, minimal design than it is to do a busy one. Designers can and do have strong opinions on fonts and typography. Books are written about type, and graphic designers pay hundreds of dollars sometimes for a particularly fine font. Font types are divided into several broad categories: serif fonts, which have adornments on their edges, and sans serif fonts that don't. Google Fonts is a great resource for you to find free open-source fonts that you can use on your web page. As you'll soon discover, most websites are built using the box model, which means designs are made by arranging boxes like the header, the main content area, the sidebar, the footer, and so forth. If you know that, and you also now know terms like hierarchy and negative space, you're ready to start perusing websites with an informed eye for what works in terms of aesthetic design. We're going to crowdsource your impressions on web design. I'd like you to find a site you think showcases great design and another one that you think is pretty bad. Those enrolled in the interactive class can log in now to complete the assignment. You can also visit the class Pinterest page for inspiration from me and later on from your classmates. During the next lesson, we'll take a look at the crowd's opinion and we'll talk about navigation and functional design. We'll see you in Lesson 2.